Kent mother, whose son was born severely disabled, has been awarded more than £2 million in compensation from the NHS. Lisa, not her real name, brought proceedings against the East Kent Hospitals Trust after scans showing her unborn son's disabilities weren't acted on or the dangers explained to her. Our reporter Sharon Terry met Lisa and her son, who's now 6 years old.
Explain what happened with the birth of Reese.
The sonographer picked up on my routine 12-week scan the levels of fluid around Reese's brain were slightly higher, in the high range of normal. And she said, it's nothing to worry about. I'll just send you for another scan in 2 weeks and we'll check it's either come down or stayed the same. So every fortnight they kept scanning me at QEQM at Margate. And every week the levels of fluid in Reese's brain increased. There was never any worry. There was never any, nothing ever seemed to come up flashing red signs. So never a worry on their part or mine.
So as far as you were aware, you were going to give birth to a healthy boy?
I was aware that, yeah. The birth and the labour were fine. I knew that there was something wrong pretty much within a day of him being born. I was telling the doctors and midwives there was something wrong with him.
Because how many children had you had prior to Reese?
There were 2.
So you're an experienced mum. You knew something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, I knew that something weren't right. Absolutely, yeah. I actually had to phone my community midwife and say to her, there's something wrong with this baby and no one's doing anything about it. And it was my community midwife that phoned the hospital at QEQM and said to them, why is my lady sitting on maternity ward with this baby when it's clearly not very well? And then a registrar came down and admitted he needed to be in SCABU.
What's Reese actually got? What's the name for
it? The technical term is it's perisylvian polymicrogyria. And it means that the bumps in his brain didn't grow properly. We got quite large bumps. Reese has got very tiny bumps. So they didn't form properly. And I think that happened around the 12-week gestation mark. So, yeah, hence why they started seeing extra fluid at 12 weeks. Reese is blind. He's epileptic. He's got no body control, not even his head. He's fed via a tube because of no swallow. I have to empty his bladder for him. The only thing he can do, and I've always said the only thing he can do for himself is breathe, but even sometimes that's questionable. There's chance now, after all these years, that we might have to have some home oxygen as well. But he's happy. He's content. We know how to manage his needs now. It's took us a few years, and it's been quite a long journey. But yeah, he's happy as he's going to get. Reese needs looking after 24 hours a day. You can't take your eyes off him. And if for any reason that Dad and I aren't here, we've got money to pay for. We've got money to pay for help. Equipment is so expensive. We couldn't afford to pay for that on just what Dad and I have ever earned. Reese is getting bigger now. The house that we live in, it's not suitable for a disabled boy. It's a family home, yes, but it's not for a disabled person. So we need a property. They don't come cheap. Adaptions don't come cheap. The money is crucial to make Reese's life as comfortable as possible.
That was Lisa, not her real name, talking to our reporter Sharon Terry, telling us about the story of her son's disability.